This list is really special because not many YouTubers are showing this game's list, which is about the best classic style of MMORPG that's playable right now, with the best visuals, gameplay, and also that is worthy to play now. Remember to like this video and please enjoy the video of Top 10 Classic Style MMORPG for Android and iOS, Top Classic MMORPG Mobile. Scars of Honor. This is one of the best classic style MMORPG that you should know because it's just a hidden gem MMO, and finally they show us how the mobile game look like. Even it's still on progression and the developer are focusing on PC version first, but at least we know it will become a cross-platform game. This classic MMORPG that look like WoW games like World of Warcraft mobile games, like from the graphic, character design, and also the ambience is well represented game. The gameplay is really engaging. We can mining, fishing, and even chopping the tree to craft your equipment. Since the game will become F2P MMORPG, no pay to win game, and the developer is really focusing on it and against from the start. So all of the equipment like armor, weapon, or any kind of items will not be sold on the shop, and the only things it's available there is cosmetic items. It will create such a fair and balanced gameplay in combat. PvP is their main concern as well in the open world, open PK, or even in the arena. Scars of Honor is the best MMORPG classic style for mobile and PC. It will launch the early access mode in Q3 2026, followed by worldwide release in the end of 2026. Legends of Elumia. This game is the best new classic MMORPG on mobile that really needs to get an attention from the player who love to play WoW games like. I love that the character design is not an anime, but the developer created this game as a western look style, which is pretty identical as a classic MMO base. I would like to give 10 to 10 for the visualization, but honestly it needs a high endpoint to run the game in the highest graphic setting, because the number of the players who are playing it right now is pretty massive. A huge plaza will let the player explore the safety area much wider and do your main base activity like blacksmithing, upgrading, and getting some equipment through the NPC. Once you want to hunt the monster, then you should get into the dungeon. Please note, you can make a selection for playing multiplayer with your friends or play in solo. Both of the selection will determine the difficulty level of the stage arena. Legends of Elumia is a very good MMORPG. Unfortunately, not many players know it. In fact, most of the players are pretty loyal playing it. Roblox Miloblocks RPG Adventure. So this game you can download through the Roblox application and play the game while you have installed it, which means you don't have to download any extra data anymore because it's included. I love how brighter this MMORPG looks, so colorful as well. There are 3 main weapons that we can select, such as a dual sword, two-handed axe, and also sword and shield. So it's really important to pick which weapon you will use because it will determine the classes with a different status ability. In game, we'll be able to hunt together by party in fight features and also looting a lot of rare items to trade between the players. These features will help you a lot in boosting your main hero's progression significantly. Anyway, every time you reach a new level, then you will gain 1 attribute point to place into a different status attribute like strength, dexterity, vitality, and intelligence. The game's combat mechanism is really good, hack and slash know to play. Learn a new skill once the certain point meets the requirement. Top classic MMORPG games, Android and iOS. Ancient Reborn MMORPG. Surprisingly, after I just replay it again, I see a huge difference from the previous version, and honestly, it's way better. Probably one of the best remake I have ever seen, especially on mobile classic MMORPG games. Right now, I have a better experience while navigating the hero, even without using any pad. But the way I can tap and click into a certain point position is pretty simple and easy to control. Well done, Dev. This game will give you the best classic MMORPG even when you just started the game. Then you will not find any tutorial, but I'm sure you will easily understand how the game's mechanism works. This is a grinding based game. That's why we will see a lot of enemies will respawn around the village that has a very close range to each other, so we can level up the main hero much faster. It's pretty important to kill the enemy from the lowest level because the gap power of each enemy is quite massive, so we should eliminate the enemy by the sequence. Ancient Reborn is the best MMORPG classic style game on Android and iOS. Walk Online. What a nostalgia. This game is well represent what the classic MMO was. I have ever played this game on PC before, but on mobile version it has better graphic, more enhancing visual. Unfortunately, the player nowadays doesn't give an interesting on this game. Even back then, I remember how every server always reached the maximum capacity of the player's number. I realized not all MMOs can be ported into this era, and this game is one of the best example. Even the developer is really good at maintaining the server number, but it's not enough to make the player stay longer on it. The gameplay will not have any mission at all. We can freely create your own creativity by doing any action like killing the mobs, upgrading the equipment, and trading some items. This game is not hack and slash based, so you all can play it way more casual. Just by tapping one click is enough to do an auto basic attack. 4 main jobs are available to pick: Swordman, Archer, Brawler, and Shaman. Spire. I have a huge conviction that this MMORPG will last longer and could be the competitor of Toram Online, because no matter what time you will play, the players are too massive on actively playing it. This game has the similarities within Toram Online because it's not a competitive MMO. There is no PvP or player versus player, so you just need to enjoy a casual gameplay level by grinding some material or equipment. In fact, the looting drop item rate is pretty high, so it's pretty no pay to win games at all. Overall, it has the best cinematic visual. With a very small size game, it can run amazingly without any single laggy. You can even raise your FPS into 120, which means the next level of gaming experience will be enjoyed then. The game's combat mechanism is hack and slash. We can release the skill in a short period of time, with a nice and clean skill effect that will dominate your satisfaction. Once you see how many costumes you can collect, then you will love to keep playing it. Spire Fantasy MMORPG is the best classic MMORPG on mobile and PC as a cross-platform MMORPG. 12. Sky Reborn. This game is way too good for any player who's looking at the real classical MMORPG games vibe. Even it will bring you back into a year that you have passed through for a long time ago. The visualization and the color background is well represent how the developer tried to represent an old school graphic. I love how they keep the main server to make sure the player can compete into a competitive number of players. Once you are strong enough, try to ask the other player for a duel in PvP and see how far you create your own character. The game's combat mechanisms are really simple, and even you can do an auto basic attack to deal a continuous attack. There is no storyline, and even no tutorial will show up since the game begins. We need to know about our activities to level up the main character. Villagers and Heroes MMORPG. Does any of you still remember about this game? Even after I read from the Play Store comment, it said the player is still enjoying it, even with a lower number, but at least I see some players are updating their gameplay. Glad to know if the community is still alive until now. As I remember, it's been a while since the game released globally. This is one of the best classic MMO that has such a huge world. Seriously, the world that you can explore will take a lot of time to explore the entire area. The monster position is further from each other. This indicates how wide the open world is, so I highly recommend you all to ask every single NPC to accept as many side quests as you can to do a multitask mission at the same time. It will make your gameplay work way more effective and efficient. Villagers and Heroes is classical MMO with tap and click based. Tarisland. This game is absolutely phenomenal, one of the biggest games ambition I have ever seen that really want to compete with the PC MMO through this game. I remember how many players were watching this video once it was in development, and how many players are willing to follow the game's update. Unfortunately, right now the game is getting forgotten. Even though I can't find any players while I'm exploring the open world, I really don't believe how possible it's happening. In fact, the developers are making a no-pay-to-win game MMORPG with 85% similar with WoW from the game's vibe. The combat mechanism is the first reason why it's becoming a top-tier MMO, because the combat action is superb. You can even slash and hit the enemy while moving or while unleashing the skill, so you can make a safer distance between you and the enemy. But let me tell you the truth, it needs a high endpoint to run the maximum graphic. That was the main reason why most of players can't handle the game all day long. Forgotten Thrones. I really hope the developers would love to make a remake about it, and they all need to work as a team to see what the player wants, especially the features that should be added to more variation. With this beautiful crafting visual, I think there is no problem with the graphic or animation, but the feature it has is pretty low. They need to add some important features that every player MMO loves, like the trading system between the player, opening the stall or vendor, and of course the PvP or guild war should be the first priority. It was very unfortunate to see a World of Warcraft mobile game that doesn't get any attention from the player. In fact, it has a huge potential. The game's combat mechanism is absolutely interesting. We can actively move the hero while slashing, making the combat look even smoother. Adventure Quest 3D. From all of the games that I have shown you on this list, probably this game is the most played MMORPG classic style on mobile, and it still exists until now. I didn't get any negative side while playing it, even though the player number is getting more and more coming up to play. I think the main reason is the community is the main answer to how the classic MMO can last longer. The game's combat mechanism is absolutely fantastic. We can control the main hero freely while hitting the monster. As for some duel within the other player and measure how strong your main hero is. The world message seems pretty active that will help you a lot in answering your question. These all are the best game MMORPG classic style you should play. Remember to like this video and see you on the next list. Thanks.